Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name is Daniel, and if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have sworn I had the perfect marriage. I truly believed in US. I thought we were unshakable. For years, my focus had been on building a future for us. My business was finally growing, expanding into new cities. That meant long trips, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, but I kept telling myself it was worth it. Everything I did for us, but life has a way of knocking you down the moment you think you've got everything figured out. The day my world fell apart, the truth came to me uninvited. And when it hit harder than anything I could have imagined. I was away on a business trip, one that had been going well. Meetings were productive, contracts were nearly finalized, and I was already daydreaming about coming home to spend time with my wife. I was tired but proud, because every hour I worked felt like an investment in our future. Then my phone rang. It was Mark, a close friend of mine, but something in his voice was off, hesitant, uneasy. "Daniel," he said, "I wasn't sure if I should call you, but I can't keep this to myself. I just saw Sophia coming out of a hotel with another man." For a moment, I said nothing. My mind froze, refusing to process what I just heard. Maybe he'd mistaken someone else for her. Maybe there was some explanation. But Mark wasn't the type to joke about something like this. "I took pictures," he admitted. "I didn't know if I should, but I had a bad feeling. I'll send them to you." Seconds later, my phone buzzed. My hands felt numb as I opened the message. And there it was. Sophia, my wife, stepping out of a hotel lobby with a man I didn't recognize. I didn't yell. I didn't call her. I just stared at the photos, my brain desperately searching for another explanation, even as the truth glared back at me. "You there, man?" Mark's voice brought me back. "Yeah," I said, forcing myself to stay calm. "I didn't want to be the one to tell you," he said, "but you had to know." I nodded to myself, though he couldn't see me. I wasn't angry with Mark. If anything, I was grateful. He'd done the hard thing. Deep down, I knew I needed to know. But now that I did, what was I supposed to do with it? I came home earlier than planned. I didn't text, didn't call, just walked through the front door. Sophia was in the kitchen, humming softly as she chopped vegetables. When she turned and saw me, she smiled. "How was your trip?" she asked lightly. I forced myself to stay calm, nodded casually, and pretended everything was normal. I let her talk, watched her move around the kitchen, and waited for the right moment. Then, when she least expected it, I said quietly, "Unlock your phone." The room went still. The air turned heavy. Her smile faltered, but she quickly recovered, letting out a little laugh. "What? Why?" I just stared at her. Her fingers twitched. "Daniel, this is ridiculous," she said nervously. "Unlock it." My voice was calm, almost too calm. No yelling, just a command. She crossed her arms. "You don't trust me? After all these years?" I didn't argue. I simply grabbed her phone, held it up between us, and said, "Unlock it, or I swear I'm walking out and never coming back." Her face lost all color. She froze for a moment, searching for a way out, but she knew there wasn't one. Her hands trembled as she unlocked the screen and handed it back to me. The first thing I saw were unread messages, some from saved contacts, others from unknown numbers. I opened one, then another, and there it was. Explicit texts, pictures, videos. My wife, the woman who sometimes sent me playful photos to remind me of what I had waiting at home, was sending the exact same things to someone else. I kept scrolling, numb, through hotel bookings, late-night conversations, plans to meet up while I was away. I read every word, even the ones where she talked about me, how I was too busy to notice, how she felt free to do whatever she wanted because I trusted her too much. I sat down because I needed to see it all. I needed to know exactly who she had been when I wasn't looking. Sophia collapsed on the couch, crying into her hands. "I'm sorry," she gasped. "I was lonely. You're never home. I didn't mean for this to happen. I love you. Please, Let me explain. But I didn't respond the way she expected. Without saying a word, I took screenshots of everything and sent them to myself. Then I calmly set her phone down on the table. I don't need your excuses, I said coldly. I stood up, walked past her sobbing form, went into the bedroom, and started packing the things I hadn't taken on my last trip. My clothes, my documents, everything important enough to leave with. Then I walked out. I moved into a temporary apartment, blocked her number, and refused any direct contact. If she had anything to say, she could say it through my lawyer. I filed for divorce immediately. And that was the difference between us. She acted recklessly, without thinking. I acted with clarity. No mediation. No emotional games. Just a clean break. For the first time in months, I could breathe. The pain didn't vanish overnight, but I had a choice, stay broken or rebuild. I chose to rebuild. I threw myself into my business with relentless focus. The expansion I planned, I made it happen, fast. I didn't just move cities. I rebuilt my entire life from the ground up. Day by day, the weight grew lighter, not because time healed me, but because I chose to heal. Months later, I barely recognized a man in the mirror. Stronger, smarter, wealthier. By the time the divorce neared its end, delayed only because she kept demanding more, I felt nothing for her. No anger, no sadness, no love, just indifference. And indifference, my friends, is the sweetest revenge of all. Months passed. I had rebuilt my life, learned to breathe without the crushing weight of betrayal. And then she came back. It was late at night when I heard the knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone, but something told me to answer. And there she was, Sophia. Tears streaked her face, her eyes swollen and red, and her stomach round, unmistakably pregnant. For a moment, I just stared, frozen. Then she broke down completely, sobbing. Through tears, she confessed how much she regretted everything, how she cried herself to sleep every night, haunted by guilt. She said she never stopped loving me, that loneliness made her do stupid things. And then came the blow that nearly knocked the wind out of me. Daniel, this is your baby. She said it like it was supposed to fix everything, like it was my reason to take her back. She begged me for another chance, promised she had changed. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. But then I remembered exactly why she was here. Not out of love, out of need. So I let her finish every tearful plea, every apology. And when she was done, I simply nodded and said, "All right, let's get a DNA test." Her face shifted instantly. The tears stopped. Panic set in. "What?" she stammered. "You think I'd lie about this?" she snapped nervously. I said nothing, just waited. She started accusing me, saying I was punishing her, that I was cruel, that I never really loved her if I could even suggest such a thing. But in that moment, I knew if she had nothing to hide, she wouldn't be afraid. I took a deep breath, stepped back, and said calmly, "If you won't take the test, there's nothing more to say." Then I shut the door. I thought I'd seen the worst of her betrayal. I was wrong. Months later, I was served court papers. She was suing me, accusing me of abandoning my child, the very child she refused to prove was mine. She played the perfect victim in court, crying, telling the judge I had walked out when she needed me most, painting herself as a heartbroken, abandoned woman. But I wasn't the man she could manipulate anymore. I had resources, I had evidence, and I had the will to fight back. I hired the best lawyers in the city, the kind who dismantle lies for a living, and they tore her case apart. Every affair, every refusal to take the test, every manipulative tactic, exposed in front of everyone. The courtroom that had once whispered in sympathy for her now buzzed with quiet judgment. When it was over, the judge didn't just rule in my favor. He issued a cease and desist order barring her from contacting me again. She had tried to destroy me, but in the end, she destroyed herself. Walking out of that courtroom, I felt no pity. Once I might have, but after everything, the betrayal, the lies, the audacity to drag me to court, I was just grateful I never let her back into my life. This entire experience taught me one thing. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. I ignored the warning signs once and paid the price. But when I finally walked away, I never looked back, and that was the best decision I ever made. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, where someone tries to guilt trip you, manipulate you, or use their mistakes to make you feel responsible, stand your ground. Protect yourself. Because some people don't come back out of love, they come back out of desperation. And if you let them in, they will destroy you all over again. But what do you think? If you were in my shoes, would you have handled it the same way, or given her another chance? Let me know in the comments. And if you stayed until the end, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the story, share, and subscribe. It really helps keep the channel going. I'll see you in the next one.